Okay, so now we are going to start the step-by-step, the part-by-part study of the bone tissue. So firstly, we have the periosteum, and we have mostly discussed the details of the periosteum that we need to know. So I'm just going to show you the slides in just a bit. But first, let me just re-mention some of the features that the periosteum contains. So it has the outer fibrous layer, right, which is the outer layer, and inner cellular layer, right? Inner cellular layer and outer fibrous layer. The cellular layer contains three different kinds of cells. Yeah, some osteoprogenitor cells, osteoclasts, and osteoblasts. Similarly, this is the periosteum. Similarly, on the inside of the, for example, from the inside, the bone is lined with endosteum, and the endosteum does not contain any outer layer. It only contains the inner cellular layer with all of these cells. So I'm not writing them neatly because I have some neat notes combined that you can later see. And if you want to download them, you can find them at our website, bestmedicine.net. Now, another difference between endosteum and periosteum is that periosteum is bound to the compact bone very, very strongly, okay? So this compact bone right here, this is the periosteum right here. These are bound together very strongly. And the way they're bound is by perforating connective tissue fibers, okay? Perforating connective tissue fibers, these are made up of collagen type 1 connective tissue, and this connective tissue fibers, these are called Sharpey's fibers, okay? Remember the name. Sharpey's fibers are basically connective tissue collagen type 1 fibers that basically perforate into the compact bone, and they basically insert themselves into the compact bone and help the very strong attachment of the periosteum with the compact bone. All right, this periosteum, this layer of periosteum, we studied that it has a cellular layer that contains osteoblasts. Well, let me tell you this cellular layer of osteoblasts, this periosteum, is very, very important for bone remodeling, for bone growth, because it contains the cellular layer that contains the osteoblast, the osteoclast, that perform bone remodeling, bone repair, bone resorption, bone production, all of those things. So periosteum is very, very important. And even in cases where the bone is fractured, for example, if the bone is fractured, for example, and the bone is recorrected in its straight fashion, and the periosteum is left attached, so if we have a fractured bone that it is realigned by the use of different tools, for example, like they do in the orthopedic surgery, then the bone is realigned and they leave the periosteum on top of the bone. And so this periosteum, after it has been recorrected the bone, the periosteum helps to regrow the bone and repair the bone to where it was initially. So that is the function of periosteum. All right, so I have some histology slide images that I want to go over of the periosteum. So right here, picture number 1, we have this one right here. Okay, immediately we can see that there is a compact bone right here, okay, containing the matrix and the lacunae enclosed which cells? Osteocytes, right? And then this is the cuboidal layer, simple cuboidal layer containing densely stained eosinophilic cells called the osteoblasts, right? Osteoblasts, mostly. And then we might have some giant cell right here. Let me just, we might have some giant cell right here performing the resorption of bone. And that cell is called the osteoclast, right? So it might have, in this diagram there isn't, but it might have an osteoclast as well if there's a giant cell. So this is the cellular layer of the periosteum. Over here we have a detached layer of this right here is a detached connective tissue layer of the periosteum, and this layer this layer right here, is a detached layer of the periosteum. It's a fibrous layer, as you can clearly see. It's a connective tissue layer, and we learned identifying connective tissues in chapter number 2. So this is the fibrous layer of periosteum. Okay, let's move on to the next picture. So right here, okay, this time they have mentioned the 2 layers. So we have the periosteum layer right here, which is the fibrous layer, fibrous layer of the periosteum, and then we have simple cuboidal. If you can, let me just zoom this in. We see some densely stained cells, like for example here, right here. Yeah, these are the simple cuboidal cells of the periosteum. So the cellular layer of the periosteum right here, and the fibrous layer of periosteum right here. And then we have obviously the bone matrix containing these large canals called the Herbertian canals, and some small lacunae enclosed cells called the osteocytes in lacunae. Okay, and these large canals called the Herbertian canals.